About, I mean, you had quite, and I think the longest tenure on X-Men of any creator.
I suspect the longest tenure on any mainstream superhero comic of any creator.
17 years.
Yes.
And we were talking about, I'm sure you heard about the controversy with Shatterstar, and Rob Liefeld was extremely upset quite publicly that he'd come out of the closet. And we were kind of wondering, like, what is it like for you, I mean, you've been a shepherd of the X-Men for a long, long time. How do you react when other creators do things that maybe you didn't intend, like or like Joss Whedon killing Kitty Pryde, things like that? How do you react? I mean, do you keep up?
But still,
Is she dead? That series didn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, she's stuck inside she's stuck inside the bullet, flying infinitely through space.
But she's got to starve to death at some point because she can't stop at the grocery store, which is fine.
exactly.
Not my. It's. I could think of a half a dozen reasons why the bullet shouldn't have been allowed. I mean, to tell me that neither the FF nor the Avengers nor the X-Men nor a combined panoply of those characters with their access to interstellar transportation, not to mention pan-dimension, not to mention the stepping discs, not to mention the Lila's pan-dimensional warp gizmo couldn't have caught up with it and found a way in or out? I don't know.
But that's another
that-
thing with finality. There isn't any. It's
Well-
intentionally open-ended. So
No,
but-
it's the fact that no one asked me.
yeah.
Therefore, it's not up to me. Therefore,
Yeah.
it's up to whoever is designated by Joe or Axel to resolve this situation, and they will come up with a resolution or not. She's on hold presumably until some editor or some appropriate creator expresses a desire to use her as a character.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm not playing in that realm, so it's not my problem.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is like, I mean, it's obvious you kind of keep up with the universe, even though, I guess, I mean, when you see characters that you worked with for so long, I mean, Kitty Pryde, or whoever, any characters that you've dealt with, when you see creators do things, I mean, are you surprised by things? Are you shocked? Are you disappointed by things sometimes? Or
as a reader, I enjoy or don't enjoy the story. As a creator, I may be pissed at I may have my opinions regarding the fact that a character I was looking forward very strongly to using wasn't available, and
you gotta unwind
and
that.
couldn't and not available in the sense of permanently. But by the same token, there's not much I can do about it. You deal with it, you move on, or you find a way to work it, and forever is my way to work it. That's the reality. It's a business, and I'm, if I were writing Uncanny, it would be I might have a different presentation, but I'm not. So I don't have. It's not something I have to deal with. So I don't. I just move on.
So, I mean, I guess on the same token, I mean, a couple of days ago, Hugh Jackman said they're working on a sequel to the Wolverine movie based on yours and Frank Miller's Wolverine.
Good
I mean,
for them.
do you feel the same way about that? Where it's just, I mean, that's
What? Just what? What do you mean?
No, I mean, like that they're doing it, and not you. And I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. They're adapting one of Frank's and my classic stories. Is from a creative standpoint, do I wish that I were more directly involved? Hell yes. But that's a whole different side of the equation.
Be like us, waiting to see if it's good, I guess.
Well, as a writer, you never say no, so who knows? Maybe they'll come knocking. So, but
They have my number. They've always had my number.
Yeah.
I've always said I'm more than willing. I've made more pitches than you know.
Yeah.
But it's in the final analysis, it's not my call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you probably have a better perspective than most on the necessity to let go and not get all bent when somebody takes something you've worked on, because we all saw X3, and
Yeah.
so I mean,
What about it?
it's I certain expectations were kind of in place with that last shot of X2 that kind of sent butterflies into every reader's stomachs with the Phoenix. But yeah,
And the
different
director
media,
decided
different-
he wanted to do something else, and the
Yeah.
studio decided not to do whatever was necessary to keep him around,
Yeah.
and choices were made that it's a different corporate structure, a different genre, a different set of personalities. They do what they have to do. If I were involved directly, I might have a whole other set of opinions.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, the film got made. The characters were presented in a way that was consistent with the characters that I wrote in the comic. It was an enjoyable 97 minutes.
Yeah.
It made money. In any normal course of events, it would have, one would think, inspired a fourth film, but that's, my hopes as the audience are not necessarily those of the studio
Yeah.
and of the management of Fox. On the other hand, it led to Wolverine, and Wolverine is leading to Wolverine 2. And from interviews that Lauren Donner has made, it seems that Fox is hoping or eagerly embarked on presenting more X-Men products. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Oh, keep them coming, yeah. Good, bad, or anything in between. I'll line up for them. So I mean, that's just me. But I think there are plenty of people like that as well. But